If the Bears could win this Week 14 game against the Packers, they'd go to the 1968 playoffs. The Bears had the menacing middle linebacker Dick Butkus, who made first-team All-Pro and finished fourth in the NFL MVP vote. If the Bears lost, they could still make the playoffs if the Eagles beat the Vikings. In that scenario, both the Bears and Vikings would have identical 7-7 records, but the Bears would make the playoffs as the NFL Central Division champion since they beat the Vikings twice during the regular season. However, the Bears were without the services of superstar running back Gale Sayers due to injury. Even though Sayers missed 5 games, he still made first-team All-Pro when he rushed for 856 yards and led the NFL with a 6.2 yards per carry. In Week 8's game, Sayers rushed for a career-high 205 yards in a 13-10 win at Lambeau Field. He torched Green Bay on a 63-yard run, as well as a 46-yard kickoff return. His presence was sorely missed in this game by Chicago, as they didn't have anyone else who came close to being a breakaway threat as a running back. The Bears were 4.5-point favorites to win on a 22-degree December 15th day with a stiff 19-mile-per-hour wind. Travis Roadrunner Williams had a heck of a time maintaining control of the football and put the Packers in immediate trouble when the Bears recovered his fumble. Number 72 right guard Jim Cadile led quarterback Jack Concanon on a hard-earned 1-yard gain. Packers cornerback Doug Hart strung out this play and cut down Brian Piccolo for a 4-yard loss. On 4th and goal, 6'4", 220-pound Mac Percival booted a field goal. In 1968, he led the NFL with the most field goal attempts and field goals made when he scored an even 100 points. Zeke Bratkowski started at quarterback for the injured Bart Starr. Number 44, Donnie Anderson, ran for 8 yards on this play. Here's a replay of the famous Green Bay Packers power sweep, where both guards and tackle Forrest Gregg pulled. On 2nd and short, Bratkowski called a play-action pass, and it worked brilliantly as Boyd Dowler caught the pass over the outstretched arms of strong safety Richie Pettibone. Number 24, Rosie Taylor, made the NFL All-Star team for the 1968 season, but he misjudged Dowler's speed and whiffed on the attempted tackle. Boyd Dowler is a member of the Hall of Fame All-1960s team and played in 6 NFL championship games. In 1959, he was the NFL's Rookie of the Year after being drafted in the 3rd round out of Colorado. He was a huge end at 6'5" and 225 pounds. From 1960 through 1969, he only missed 2 starts. At the end of the 1969 season, he was 11th on the all-time career pass reception list and 12th all-time in career receiving yardage. On the Bears' next series, Brian Piccolo gained 6 yards and became a stepping stone for middle linebacker number 66, Ray Nitschke, who on the following play slammed Ronnie Bull's helmet into the turf. The Packers' defense kept turning up the heat. While defensive end Willie Davis just missed sacking Concanon, number 77 Ron Kostelnik didn't. 10-yard loss. John Kilgore punted in 7 games for the Bears in 1968. He had 2 blocked punts, averaged only 35.2 yards per punt, and was somehow sold to the Rams on July 20th, 1969, only to be released shortly thereafter. There's a reason as to why outside linebacker number 55 Doug Buffone played 14 NFL seasons. Check out his expert tackling technique on Donnie Anderson. Jim Grabowski had a tough day running the ball, as he ran 11 times for only 15 yards. He had a much better day receiving. He caught 4 passes for 83 yards on the day that included a huge 67-yard touchdown that's coming up soon. Zeke Bradkowski was blasted by outside linebacker Jim Purnell and knocked out of the game. Purnell was traded 3 times in a 9-day span in July 1969. He went from Chicago to Atlanta, Atlanta to Philadelphia, and from Philadelphia to Los Angeles. Running back Donnie Anderson also handed Green Bay's punting duties. He only averaged 35.4 yards per punt on 7 attempts. Free safety Willie Wood almost picked off Concannon. From 1961 through 1971, Wood started 154 consecutive games. He never missed a game. Concannon's pump fake worked beautifully on perennial All-Pro quarterback Herb Adderley, as split-end Dick Gordon hauled in this 48-yard scoring strike just over the outstretched arm of Adderley. Don Horn was the next Packers quarterback, and he had been recently discharged from the Army and was activated to play this game the night before. Quarterback Don Horn was playing for the first time in 1968 and had only thrown 24 passes as a first-round rookie the year before, so the Bears sent Rosie Taylor on a safety blitz. It was the only sack by the Bears in this game. On the replay, check out number 51 middle linebacker Dick Butkus. He was always looking to get in on the action, and he wasn't penalized for this late hit. The hits didn't adversely affect Horn's passing, as he hit Boyd Dowler on 15-yard down-and-out pass patterns. The Bears' defensive secondary were ranked 13th out of the 26 teams in passing yardage allowed at the end of this season, but they gave up an alarming 259 yards on only 11 completions in this game for an incredibly high 23.5 yards per completion. This play-action pass with a fake handoff to Donnie Anderson caught the Bears' defense totally off guard. Jim Grabowski was all alone on this 67-yard scamper that resulted in a 14-10 Packers lead. Just before halftime, the Bears finally engineered their first sustained drive with runs by Concannon, Brian Piccolo, and Ronnie Bull. After softening up the Packers' defensive front, Concannon switched them up and went deep to Gordon. The Bears' flub proved to be very costly. Another play-action pass resulted in another big catch by Boyd Dowler, who hauled in 6 passes for 182 yards and 2 touchdowns. We'll check out his second touchdown catch shortly. Number 20 Bears cornerback Joe Taylor had good size at 6'1" and 200 pounds, but Taylor was only in his second NFL season, while the much larger Dowler was in his 10th season. Donnie Anderson blasted his way to the 1-yard line, and on the following play he blocked Dick Butkus as effectively as any man could, as Chuck Mercine put the Packers ahead 21-10. Concannon provided too much touch and not enough power when he underthrew Dick Gordon, who had beaten Doug Hart deep. But Hart intercepted and returned the ball 24 yards. Mike Mercer's 44-yard field goal attempt was partially deflected and fell short as time ran out in the second quarter. The Packers started the second half with their ball control offense that was designed to protect their 21-10 lead and take as much time off the clock as possible. Check out future Hall of Fame right tackle Forrest Gregg cut down defensive end Ed Obradovich, which allows a clear passing lane on this swing pass to Grabowski. Number 51 Dick Butkus made the tackle. Who else? Richie Pettibone was called for interference on tight end Marv Fleming, who was held without a catch on this day. The Bears blitzed all three linebackers and Butkus narrowly nabbed Horn. But then Boyd Dowler was detected for pass interference against number 21, Benny McCray. Center Ken Bowman executed a long-since-extinct cross-body block on Bears defensive tackle Frank Cornish. Although the Packer offensive line was imposing their will on the Bears defense, there wasn't anything that they could do to salvage on this play. On the next play, Horn made up for his misplay and connected on a 25-yard scoring pass to Boyd Dowler. Horn finished the day with 10 of 16 passing for 187 yards and 2 touchdowns. Number 23, Clarence Childs, was the 20th round draft pick of the Patriots in 1961, waived and signed by the Giants as a free agent, in military service during 1962 and 1963, traded to the Cardinals on August 14th, 1968, waived and signed by the Bears. Ronnie Bull picked up big yardage here, and he finished with 80 rushing yards on 13 carries. Jack Concannon started 7 games in 1968, and his 171 passing yards in this game were a season high. Brian Piccolo ran 15 times for 45 yards. The Bears' touchdown inspired their defense, and they caused the Packers to punt and put the Bears' offense into fine field position. Packers middle linebacker Ray Nitschke ran a delayed blitz, which was ineffective in two ways. He didn't put pressure on Kincannon, and it left Dick Gordon unattended to over the middle of the field. Looking to connect with Dick Gordon again, Kincannon picked on injured cornerback Bob Jeter's replacement, who was 1967 third-round draft pick John Rouser, Little Jack, as he was nicknamed, played 10 professional seasons, intercepted 26 passes, and returned 4 of them for touchdowns. Mac Percival connected on a 26-yard field goal attempt and narrowed the Packers' lead to 28-20. With less than 8 minutes remaining in the game, the Packers had success as always throwing to Boyd Dowler, but not nearly as much success running the ball. Grabowski lost 5 yards on successive plays, and the Packers punted. Kincannon didn't waste much time changing the scoreboard in the Bears' favor when he hooked up with Dick Gordon, who had 2 touchdowns on 6 catches and 147 yards. Gordon's 29 catches led the Bears in 1968, as did his 477 receiving yards. He was the only Bear with more than 300. The Bears had 6 games with less than 100 net passing yards. With less than 5 minutes to play, Elijah Pitts returned the kickoff to the 25-yard line. Inexplicably, the Packers threw 3 straight passes, all which were incomplete. With less than 3 minutes to play, rookie Bob Wallace returned this punt for 9 hard-earned yards. On 3rd and 2, Ronnie Bull fought his way to a first down, as only 1 minute 49 seconds remained. The stiff Wrigley Field wind meant that a field goal attempt was out of the question.